Welcome everyone on today's Metal3 Community meeting. Today is 17th of August 2022. And as always, we will start with introductions, but there are no new members, so we can skip that. And first, the leftovers from the last few weeks. Arvindel is still waiting for consensus on this failure domain, which is a bit of a problem because we actually lost Ferouz. Ferouz is not working anymore on the project actively, so he was one of the people who could put some review here, but he won't be able to do it. So the only one I think is Furkat, but he put that GTM, and others doesn't seem to have the right to do so. We would need an approve. I will try to a bit advertise this one when I will have time inside at least our team, but please anyone feel free to review this failure domain. It's here for a long time. The other one was
sorry, I have a question. I just come back from the holidays, so I'm catching up with all the things. I didn't follow strictly this proposal, but I thought it was asking for the lazy consensus, right? So is the lazy consensus reached? Because typically we put a comment saying that after a given amount of time, if nobody has objections, we'd get the approval. Did we reach that point or not?
Yes, I would say yes, because anyone who checked it seriously, Furkat checked it in detail. He gave a legitimate. Zain said that no objections, but can't check this. Yeah, and Leonard put that unapproved, but he has no right. So I think we reached the lazy consensus.
I will check it later as soon as I get the occasion.
Should I put here some comments that we reached lazy consensus?
But yeah, typically, you can typically there is a period for the lazy consensus, 1 week or 2 weeks. After that, if no objections are raised, anyone that has the approval capabilities can approve it without further discussions. So.
Okay, I will just quickly write it down.
I can see maybe we can wait now 1 day or 2, given that you just put it the comment, just for after that me or someone else can approve it directly. In any case, I took a note to have a look at it and monitor it.
Okay. Good. Thank you for bringing this up. I agree with you completely. Going forward, Leonard had this one. It's a BMO PR for minuscule fixes. This also has the GTM, and I think almost all of the comments and issues are answered here.
I see there is one new. I can fix that. Yeah, it was just now. Thanks. Yeah, I'll fix it.
Okay, good. Thanks for the reviews. Okay, so that, and then this is, I think, from last week, from Jakob. This would be actually very important to push through. At least on the community meeting, we all agreed, and I had some one-to-one discussions with some people in the EST team, and everybody deemed this very important because that supports a copy feature, basically, these IPAM contracts. And let's see what is here. Yeah, and it is implemented in steps that we discussed on the previous meeting. And we gave Octo test and everything, and it seems to be passing integration test also. So please, this logic sharing PR, please check this. I will I think CC a few other people here, because at least from my part, I find it important, and it might be that Furkat and Kashif just came back from some out of office time, and Feruz left, so we might need some other people who can, but there are no one. Oh, yeah, maybe I can put there 2 reviewers, and this is an ongoing theme that we will fix. That there was a lot of personal change, change in regards to the developers. Anwar and Feruz left our team, and I seen that Hardis was also removed from owners lists here and there. So it might require some modifications, all of the owners list in every project, because there were a lot of changes. So there's Mosher, and there was Mohammed, who can at least give LGTM on this. Okay, and I think this also belongs to this, or not? Or is it? No, it is a different thing. And this is for BMO. And this just got Ox to test, but we are waiting for the test. So this is okay. Here we are waiting for contributor action, but feel free to check this also. Okay, so these are our ongoing things that were brought up on the community meeting. Is there any question related to this? Okay, if not, then I just want to comment on this, what Dimitri wrote. I agree, and it is a problem in many repos. And if you see people that are not anymore there, please feel free to remove them in a PR, push it and ping community members in Slack channel or anywhere. This is like a common cause, and we should get rid of them. I also feel that I should have done a bit more on that, but I had a lot of things recently to do. Okay, and there is one recent things from me and Mosher. I wrote the issue. Mosher pushed the actual implementation. So this I brought up in the community Slack channel also. This is related to BMO. It is quite detailed in the description, but basically communication between BMO and Ironic related to the device hint contains a few prefixes that limited the usage of device hint operators. These are features supported by Ironic and IPA actually. And I just propose that let's remove certain prefixes to enable a wider range of operators that we could use. And Mosher actually pushed the change that we were putting together. And it's like very simple. It just remove this s equal operator. And this way you can put any sort of operator in the root device hint, in these specific root device hints. And you can read about this in the Ironic documentation, and they are actually implemented with the use of this Python library called Oslo utils or Oslo matcher. But there is like a comprehensive list of the operators in the Ironic documentation, the official one. Yeah, and we would really like people's opinion on this. We don't really see that it can break anything or cause any problems, because this sort of prefixing happens also on IPA level. So IPA also checks if you have an operator or not, and if it's a string and you don't have operator, it prepends it with this, and if it's not a string, then it prepends it with like just 2 equal signs. So if you had some already existing deployments where you were just using like a serial number or a model name without any operators because you were unable to use any operator, then it would work the same way. You don't need to change anything in the deployment because IPA takes care of this logic. And of course, the related unit tests are also changed. Yeah. Does anyone have question to this spec matcher modification?
I don't have questions, but I did leave one comment there. I think if we start enabling operators on some fields, we have to enable them on all fields. Because right now, what the patches does is a very confusing thing. So some fields will now accept operators and some will not. So will actually result in a misconfiguration if you apply operators there. I think even if we keep our defaults that differ from Ironic defaults, I think we should accept operators everywhere and somehow detect the situation and handle gracefully.
Yeah, I agree. But is there like it was used with these ins for model and vendor, and if we remove this, then wouldn't that break backwards compatibility for this?
Yeah, I don't suggest we remove that. I suggest we handle it. So basically, if we see that there is an operator in this model, and that's probably a relatively simple check, maybe regular expressions, they're always solution to all problems. If we see there is an operator, we just don't append ours. If nothing looks like an operator, we append this in as before.
Yeah, I think in a follow-up, is it okay if it comes in a follow-up commit? We leave the issue open and we push up one, or would you prefer it in one commit or one change?
I'd slightly prefer one change to not end up with inconsistent situation in master. But if you're really in a hurry, we can negotiate that.
Yeah, well, in to be honest, in our current situation, we would really need this already in this form. But then if this goes in, we can continue with the implementation and put there the handling for these 3 different, yeah, I think it's 3, this one and this 2. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, you are right, in my opinion. But I would really like to see this go in already.
Yeah, if you could leave a comment to the urgency, I'll approve the change.
Okay.
But please do follow up.
Yeah, yeah. Are you here, Mosher? Yeah, you are here. So you heard. So I think that this will be the next step. What Dimitri mentioned, that for this, and this one, you need to handle if you detect any of the spec matcher operators. You don't prepend if you don't see them, then you have to prepend with the default one. I guess with these defaults, these seem to be fine.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I'm just telling this to Mushur because with this we come to some thing that I wanted to share, that next week I won't be available actually from tomorrow until like the next 2 days, and the next week I won't be here, and the community meeting will be run by Leonard next week. So we discussed how and what to do. And then I think during these 7 work days, Moshe will handle this one. Yeah. So I will put here a comment later. So yeah, that's the situation with this one. Is there any other change question related to this change? Okay, if nothing, then we can continue. I will delete this point here, and we can do the triaging. Let's see what needs triaging. There's a few things. Let me close this one. And then the first one is BMO loses state of nodes and requires database rebuild. This seems familiar. And yeah, the communication stopped on this one, and I will leave it in the same state. Auto discovery again, I kind of remember this one. Yeah, again, no actual answer to Dimitri's question. Control plane provisioning doesn't complete. This is something that Furkat started to already communicate, and Furkat was on leave, and he is now back. Are you in the call, Furkat? No. So I think that Furkat will keep up the communication on this one. I will ping him related to this, that he had a hanging conversation on this. But if any of you feel interested, please chime in on the conversation. Update customized property of BMH.
It looks to me a valid feature request, to be honest.
Driver info. Oh, driver info. I'm a bit lost related to this.
So the driver info in Ironic Notes is a dictionary which contains all information request to tuning of drivers. First and foremost, power management, as in this case. So essentially, the person is requesting to be able to change the cipher suite for IPMI and one of the Ironic internal options, which I honestly don't remember what it does. Also, I guess I'm not entirely convinced we should allow any options whatsoever. It doesn't match the design of bare metal operator, but these 2 options can certainly be added. It's probably like parameters after quotation mark for address. What do you folks think?
Wait. So where does this? So what he sets here with this option? What the option belong to? The BMO executable or what? Like who has this option? Like I guess it is a command line option from the syntax, if I understand it correctly.
Yeah, so the person is showing it on the example of Ironic client. So this is Ironic client, bare metal node set syntax. I guess they just hacked the Ironic to do that manually.
Okay, I get what we are talking about now.
It's kind of like API address, API password, API cipher suite. It's all similar stuff.
But then, like if I would just read it by myself, I would have the same question as this, like, aren't these already in like the possible to set in the Ironic config?
These are by design per node options, right? I mean, you don't have to have a matching cipher suite on all your nodes. In fact, if you have all nodes and new nodes, you may not have the matching. And in any case, we don't really provide an easy way to modify Ironic configuration. So, yeah, I would say these particular two examples are more suitable for per node configuration.
And what if we implement like template variables for the Ironic image? So when you run the Ironic image, you can enable these or configure these with environment variables. So my question goes out to that: do we have to solve it on BMO level, these things?
I suspect so. So if you'd like to, I can do a small research outside of this meeting and see what we can do. I know for cipher suits, we have a thing where essentially you can tell Ironic to negotiate one of the provided cipher suits. And that may be a thing here. Disable boot timeout, I need to remember what it does before I can answer you honestly.
I see. Okay, it's interesting.
I can try it myself later on.
Okay. But based on this, like it's like anyways as a feature, regardless where would we implement it, like in an deployment, it would be useful. So
yeah, either way, it's a valid feature request, I guess.
Yeah, I think I will accept it here if there is no objections, because as a feature it is missing, as the person mentioned, it required a hack. So, but then later we can discuss how to actually implement it. So I already put it like this, and the kind is a feature. And then I think it's also like this. Let's see if I set it correctly. Oh, it might have been like this. Is it okay if I CC you here, Dimitri?
Yeah, absolutely. Git answer.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, thank you. And I will move on. This was the doesn't complete, and I think this is the last one. Failed to update bare metal host not found. Same person. Let me just see what the status of this. And there is also a related PR, which got Octotest. And let's read what is this. Mhm. NVIDIA. So at the end, the original problem was caused because there was an incorrect configuration, but when it was modified, nothing happened. It wasn't updated. And the original cause of the problem, the original error, was not reported in any form. And this change would be the solution to actually return an error. Aha, okay, I get it. I get the PR, that's fine. But then the issue is solved. It has solved itself. So the person knows what the issue was. Mhm. Oh no, because actually it still wouldn't update. Okay, I get it. So our problem is that it is not updated if you modify it, even though it is unable to provision, it's failing. That to me it seems like a bug, but what confuses me is this wording. Like I don't remember how we do it in the tests, but my idea would be that we actually first make the BMH. We make the BMH, then we do go up to the inspection, and it gets inspected, then it becomes available, and just then we start adding the machine, Metal3 machine, blah blah blah, and then we provision. Yeah, no, actually, then it's correct. It sounds okay. Okay, from my part, I would accept this. It seems to me that there is some bug with updating the Metal3 machine info or configuration. What do you think? Oh, maybe we should actually ask for the incorrect configuration to reproduce. Needs information. I always forget how is it. it like this. Yes. Okay. From my part, it needs information. Is there any other opinion on this? Because the problem is well described, but I don't think I can reproduce this from this information. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there anything, Leonard, or are you agree that we need info?
No, I just agree.
Okay. Okay. And then that's that needs information, and that was the last one. So we can continue to the stale ones to see that we might need to throw something here. Free something here. Host should be powered down once deleted. This is going on. There was no progress on this, but it's should I froze this? No, I think this just should be kept as an in progress ticket. Because there was activity on it from Zane, although quite a long time ago. So please, if it's in BMO, so if any of you who are working on BMO or otherwise interested in this, please, according to our last discussion, open an equivalent to this 8.16. This actually needs a closure, this issue. Then there is the split up separate components into separate images. Quite a lot of discussion. Yeah, we accepted it. And I think that's just, again, this is stale, but we agreed that it is okay. Should I freeze it? Because there is no work seemingly going on this, but we agreed that this would be needed.
It's probably still valid request. I can hardly imagine we ever get to that. It doesn't make it invalid.
So should we just keep it always in like active mode, or should I phase it? That's what I have hard time always deciding.
I guess let's freeze it.
Okay. Worked. Good, thanks. I will refresh this. Is it possible to use common secret all over the BMHs? Yeah.
So there is a patch for that. The patch got some comments and got stuck since April. I think somebody should just take it over.
Could this be the fix? They seem to be linked to that. Okay, so this should be taken over by somebody and make it progress. So I guess I just remove the stale. This is an active ticket, and you have even reviewed it, many of you. So I will just remove this. Oh, it's actually here. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Go back here. And provide CI coverage for optional MariaDB support. Yeah, there is a ticket inside her team, but somehow nobody have time to work with this. I will remove this. It's not stale. It's a known thing, and yep. And I will unassign myself because I actually unassigned myself internally also. Okay, so if anyone needs this or have time or wants to do it, please feel free. It is known for a long time and it would be very good, but just somehow there is never time for this. Okay, frozen. The webhook and what I've just put to frozen, so no need to check this. And then the last one is the help wanted. What needs help here? This would be very, 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 very important to finally have it fixed. But let's just quickly see, was it fixed and we just keep it here, or is it still actually not fixed? The classification controller, it's still, is it? Yeah, it's still not fixed. So if anybody from the hardware classification controller is watching, please do this. Like, please go and change master to main. We cannot tolerate it much longer. This is, I'm not even sure if we are inside the time limit that was given by the CNCF. It is very important, but we already had multiple discussions about it. And is there a PR at least? Let me check. There are not a single PR. I think I will talk with one of the maintainers, project maintainers. This has to be done forcibly. And we already would have done it, but then we got in June the response that there will be a PR. There is still no PR, so from my part, I won't wait longer. I will talk with Kashif because he offered help related to this, that he will do it. So I will actually write this down that. Main branch. Yep. And where was I? Yeah. Okay. So I will talk with Kashif. User guide stuff. Feel free to help with the user guide. The progress slowed down quite a bit on during the summer. Then there are a few old improvements for testing and dev. Those are still open. Feel free to join in or with the hardware module imports. These some of the hardware module is not that old, but they are the improvements proposed by Leonard are here for quite a long time. And this book that's here for a long time also. Connection test. Connection test. Oh yeah, I remember. That's also Leonard. Yes, the old one. So most of them are dev and test recommendations or proposals. A few bugs. One with the import, one with this HTTPS, and there is also this. The storage errors. This was somewhat answered by Anwar, and I have no idea about this. This seemed to be serious, and Anwar thought this is related to the provider ID change, what was done at that time, but the person said that it is not so. If somebody like if you want to help with this but don't know which one, please prioritize the bugs, because those are the most important in my opinion. Others are either documentation or test improvements. Okay, that's all. Is there any questions related to triaging issues or otherwise to the meeting?
Not for me either. Just hope I can fill your shoes next week.
You will. I have quite a small feet. Yeah. Okay. Then next week, Leonard will take care of the meeting, and thank you for your time and attendance, and the meeting will happen the same time, the same way next week. Thank you all. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.